Okay, in this session we're going to go over 1.8 algebraic expressions. So a term is the product or quotient. Remember, quotient is the result of division of numbers and or variables. So you can have just a single number 4, just a single variable like y, or a combination of number and variable like 6r. Also can have decimals in it and exponents. So 3.7x to the 5th is a term. Now when you combine terms, like if you have x plus y, then x is a term and y is a term. Or if you have like xy plus x, this is a term because it's combined with a y, and this is a term. So a little later on we'll get into the names for these. This would be a binomial, two terms. So know these terms. Some of the terms you need is product of, that means multiplication, increase by means addition, quotient of signifies division, and difference of signifies subtraction. When evaluating an expression, remember expression doesn't have equal signs. We have some here just to illustrate the steps. 5xy minus 7, where x is 3 and y is negative 4. When we substitute these numbers in for the variables, we want to make sure that we put them in parentheses. That not only keeps the numbers separated, but it's also a lot easier to deal with the signs. So we go from the absolute value of 5xy minus 7. The 5 is our constant, and then we're substituting the 3 for the x and the negative 4 for the y. So we do the multiplication first, and this turns out to be negative 60. Combined with our negative 7 make negative 67. When it comes out of the absolute value sign, it becomes a positive 67. Even though it's in a negative direction, it's 67 units from 0 on the number line. I'm combining this video with 1.8. 1.9, simplifying algebraic expressions. Terms to know. Commutative property. A plus B equals B plus A. In other words, in addition, it doesn't matter which way you add two numbers. In subtraction, it most certainly does, but addition, it does not matter. Likewise, the associative property, if you're adding three numbers, the order that you add them does not matter. And this should be a plus sign. Distributive property means we're distributing the A over the two terms that are inside the parentheses. So it's A times B is AB, and A times positive C is positive BC. For example of the commutative property, 3 plus 4 equals 4 plus 3. And the associative property, if we add the 2 and the 3 first, and then the 4, it's the same as adding the 3 and the 4 first, and then the 2. So the distributive property, 5 times the x is 5x, 5 times the 3 is positive 15. Now here we have the number which is a fraction on the other side. We do the same thing. Half of 6x is 3x. Half of 4 is 2. I want to pay particular attention to this one. Negative the quantity 9s minus 3. This negative, you can think of it as the same as a minus 1 distributed across both terms inside the parentheses. So a negative 1 times a negative 9s is a positive 9s, and a negative 1 times a negative 3 is a positive 3. Like terms, you must have the same variable or variables, and they have to be to the same power. Remember, the power is the exponent. Combined by adding or subtracting like terms. So if we have 6a squared plus 54a minus 4a minus 36, there is no other a squared term in the expression. So the 6a squared stays just as it is. We have 54a and a minus 4a. They combine to be the 50a. And then our negative 36, there are no other constants or numbers, so we cannot do anything with the negative 36. Okay, a little more difficult one. You always do the operations first before you try to combine terms. So this is a distributive rule. So 4 times the x, 4x, 4 times the 5, 20, minus the 5. And then remember, this negative is like a negative 1. Negative 1 times 2x is negative 2x. Negative 1 times negative 4 is positive 4. Now we combine the x's with 2x, and we combine the numbers. And it looks like this should be 24. 24 minus 5 is our 19.